Now get the thoughts of security analyst Chester Cabalza, founder and president of International Development and Security Cooperation. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. ISIS has claimed responsibility for this blast. So is this a failure of intelligence?
Definitely. What we have seen in the Israel-Hamas war is the same thing as what is happening right now in the Philippines. I think we became lenient because of the COVID pandemic. We didn't foresee that terrorism is coming back. But due to the global insecurities that has happened recently, I think the Philippines remains to be a vulnerable country when it comes to terrorism and violent extremism. This is an example that terrorism has not yet been resolved in our country. So definitely, there is a failure of intelligence and terrorism is back to reality.
So this is not an isolated case. The terrorist groups have regrouped and we could see then
Definitely.
More attacks taking place.
Yes, we could see that. We saw the spillover. This is what we are saying in most of our op-eds and interviews in the media. We might see more spillover after what has happened in the Middle East. And definitely now, especially that we have two anti-terrorism laws in the Philippines. One is on these Muslim secessionist groups, and the second one is for communist terrorists. I think the government should give or put more teeth to our anti-terrorism laws, and of course, our law enforcers should be given more training and briefing when it comes to these issues on terrorism and internal security operations that has happened recently in our country.
But Chester, the AFP chief of staff says they've neutralized many terrorists, including leaders of the Abu Sayyaf group and the Dawla Islamiyah or the DI. So with this latest attack, they have not.
You know, the problem here is that we have not, of course, resolved the root causes of the problem. And those are poverty, miseducation, historical injustices, which I think the reason why we have a pricing of terrorist groups, because they think that the most of the problems that our countries have been experiencing are not yet resolved. No? Meaning to say that, of course, they will use violence, which is, of course, a key indication to terrorism. And remember, these are ideologies, and we cannot just take out of that ideology because it's a long way. It's a process. So definitely, there will be new groups, and they will inspire new groups at the same time to regroup. And of course, there are inspirations because of what has happened in the Middle East recently, and because, of course, we know for a fact that there are also remaining bandits and rebels in the countries. That's the reason why sometimes terrorism can be equated to rebellion at the same time as secessionism.
So, Chester, what should the AFP and the Philippine National Police do at this point together with the Marcos administration to neutralize them?
Very good question there, especially now that the Armed Forces of the Philippines is transitioning to its territorial defense, and they would want that the Philippine National Police would take over when it comes to internal security. I would recommend that both forces, the PNP and AFP, should put their forces together and enforce our laws. I subscribe to the idea that, of course, intelligence gathering should be given to key defense and security sectors. And of course, we have to patrol our borders because, of course, those are very important so that we can, I mean, the influx of foreign terrorists and other groups would not come into to our country. And lastly, it's all about messaging also. The government should give importance to this issue because, of course, terrorism is still a problem in the Philippines. Let's not only focus on the West Philippine Sea, but we still focus on insurgency problems, terrorism, and violent extremism in the country. Those should be addressed at the same time.
Thank you so much for your insight, security analyst Chester Cabalza, founder and president of the International Development and Security Cooperation.